Apple, Google, Facebook, Flutterware, etc. By continuously seeking to create scalable business models, startups are able to scale up faster, create more jobs, contribute more to economic output, and drive more competition than traditional enterprises. Startups are the new rock stars of the entrepreneurship world. As such, it is imperative that any economy that wants to thrive in the 21st century must support and have a thriving startup ecosystem. So why are the concept of startups, entrepreneurship, and innovation important for Nigerians' future? For one, with almost 90 million citizens living in extreme poverty, Nigeria has the unenviable reputation of being termed the poverty capital of the world. Secondly, the country has an ongoing youth unemployment issue with National Bureau of Statistics, stating that our youth unemployment is at an all-time high of 42.5%. In a country that is home to an estimated 50% youth who represent the future, this poverty and unemployment statistics are a serious cause for concern. In its current state, the Nigerian economy of the immediate future is under threat of regressing, as most of the agents that are expected to participate in economic activities either have no opportunity to do so due to lack of jobs, or are more concerned with addressing basic concerns such as feeding and surviving. To reverse this trajectory, it is pertinent that measures are implemented towards ensuring that Nigeria becomes a competitive economy, an economy that seeks to support and promote entrepreneurship, and an economy willing to create a globally competitive and thriving startup ecosystem. At this point, I would like to briefly talk about the Bank of Industry and the role we play in supporting innovation and entrepreneurship in the country. The Bank of Industry, BOI, is Nigeria's oldest and most successful development bank. Our mandate is to provide financial assistance for the establishment of large, medium, and small projects, as well as the expansion, diversification, and modernization of existing enterprises and rehabilitation of moribund ones. In line with this mandate, we play a significant role in supporting Nigerian businesses by providing innovative financial support, mostly through single-digit interest rates, long tenure periods, and a reasonable moratorium period. Inadequate support for MSMEs often affects the youth and the women disproportionately, making it more difficult for them to become successful entrepreneurs. Hence, this demography of entrepreneurs are given added focus and support by the bank to address other challenges that MSMEs face. We also provide much needed business advisory and capacity building services through leveraging our strategic partnerships with business development specialists nationwide. One of the funding opportunities for startups include leveraging capital from Alethea IDF, of which BOI is a key investor. The Alethea IDF fund is managed by Alethea Capital and targets supporting innovative startups that are founded and managed by women. Another one is the BOI NTech Fund, which is currently being managed by Verot Capital. This fund is targeted at innovative startups in Nigeria. In addition to these funds, BOI has an ongoing program to establish technology incubators across the country. We currently have 7 incubators in operation across various states, with 2 of them right here in University of Lagos. These incubators provide promising startups with an environment that allows them to generate and test their ideas, have access to resources such as training and mentorship, and grow without any pressure. Apart from our foray in supporting startups, we also offer other forms of support to various types of enterprises. We have the Graduate Entrepreneurship Fund, GEF, and Youth Enterprise Support Program, YES, that allow us to provide both business advisory and financial support to youth across the country. We also have an Agriculture Value Chain Finance Program, AVCF, that targets farmers by providing them with access to finance, inputs, and markets. In addition to this, we also have our distributor and supplier programs that allows us to support local manufacturers of consumable items that are stocked in supermarkets. Through these programs and other direct and indirect lending programs, we have over the last 5 years provided support in excess of 1 trillion naira to over 327,000 micro, small, medium, and large enterprises across the country. I implore you all to reach out to your entrepreneurship networks to let them know about the opportunities that the Bank of Industry provides to entrepreneurs in the country. In closing, I want to once again thank the organizers and members of the AMDRC for putting this program together, and you, the participants, for attending this session. Your presence here today is evidence of your concern and commitment to Nigeria's economic growth and development. I look forward to the discussions and takeaways that will be generated today, and invite you all to participate actively towards the goal of building a successful and a vibrant society and a good future for ourselves and generations to come. Thank you for listening. May God bless you all.
I'll now hand over to Sharon. Thank you very much.
Hello. Thank you very much, Madam. The next item on the agenda is the speech by the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, Professor Oluwatoyin Ogun. He will join later, so I think we would move on to the panel discussion. And I must say that I enjoyed the speech from the BOI director. Sorry. I enjoyed the speech. What I found most interesting in all that you said was the fact that there are opportunities for the youths and for women. I think I find that very interesting because we are the one most affected. So if BOI is intentional about doing that, giving access to this group of people, I think it should be commended, and many people should key into this because many a times we find out that there are opportunities, but people don't key into it. And of course, you should make more noise as regards that. So the publicity should be there so people will know that they can key into it. So very quickly, we'll move on to the panel discussion. I don't know if we can get another microphone because I don't think it's for everyone to be touching the microphone. If we have fixed the audio, I think 2 microphones should be okay. But For now, we'll start with Dr. Omolara Salako. Would like you to share your opinion about this topic that we are discussing, which is very germane.
Hello.
Okay, yours is something. I'm not using
Hello. Okay. So if we were to build our economy, we have to look into innovators, healthcare innovators, people who do not want to go the traditional route of being just a doctor, just a nurse, just the pharmacist. There are quite a number of medical youths today, medical students, nursing students, who already have startup ideas, who already have great ideas, but they do not have the channel to bring their ideas to life. Now we have to identify such people so that, number one, we can give them an opportunity to grow their idea into a startup. A startup is a young company that develops a product or a service that serves the people. And in return, the startup makes money, makes profit. Now, if we do not give the medical healthcare professionals a conduit to bring their ideas to life, if we do not encourage them, that brain drain will only worsen. So for myself, if I wasn't blocked, I would say divinely, I would not have gone on to set up 3 organizations that are impacting the cancer community. I'm the founder of Shebekli Cancer Care. I'm the founder of Oncopadi Technologies Limited, which launched the first app about 3 years ago. We've conducted more than 1,000 consultations. Just yesterday, we were in Abuja to launch a new product with the Minister of Health. And we just launched this platform where in certain hospitals, there are like 1,000 cancer patients, but there are no clinical oncologists. If you know anything about cancer, the best time to treat cancer is the first time. So imagine when a cancer patient goes to a hospital and does not see the complete. Hub. Yeah. Students. Use develop. Business from the academic industry and for the medicine university that we need support, we need business, we need grants. So ensure we create solutions for our own people and not just attract grants from outside, but to be more that supports the health tech. Finally, wrap up with our hub in the university, in the college of mobile health research. So a lot of us are creating products using enough knowledge or data. And so we're up there. And as you employ people, no one to consult that of the from younger as well as older colleagues. So when we create a platform where people can come together to talk about innovation, the chances of us growing so higher. And we have given ourselves a target that we must launch 3 the next 1 year that are health tech based. The third pillar is C. that creation process. So last week, we sat down with about 20 cancer patients and we showed them a book for them when they're at home and they're going through symptoms, they can report their symptoms and we can monitor them remotely. And they went as far as telling us they want the app to be color pink. Expectations. So the fact that entrepreneurs is our fourth. The funds, whether big. Thank you.
Sector in the country, and it's encouraging to know that health is wealth, and of course there's the money side to it that needs to be prioritized. So we'll quickly move to Professor Olufemi Shoigu.
I want to start by apologizing for coming late. I came directly from Abuja, in fact. So, and it's part of what we are discussing that I went for. The Manufacturing Association of Nigeria had their 50th anniversary yesterday, and I was part of the consultant to them, and we did an essay competition and logo design competition. And a student of this university designed the logo that man will be using for the next 50 years. So from our creative art. So, and that's exactly what we are preaching in University of Lagos and what we are teaching as well and what we want to imbibe in students. I want to appreciate that I'm speaking before Professor Adebisi is speaking. And also want to appreciate that at least the Bank of Industry MD is here. My own contribution is going to be like a challenge. I'm an economist and I'm an academic as well. I'm worried the way we pursue entrepreneurship, innovation, and creativity in this country. And I want to attribute some of the problems we are facing in this country to this orientation to entrepreneurship promotion. By entrepreneur, from where I look at it as an economist, is somebody who can identify a problem, synthesize that problem, and come up with a solution that is tradable, that can be exchanged for a value. If you create a problem that nobody can buy, that's not a solution. And if you look at it in that way, then I said, there are three things you do as an entrepreneur. Either you bring up a new product entirely, or you facilitate the product getting to the buyer, or you create access to that. Our focus so far has been in creating platform for people to have access to products. And that has been creating problem for our supply side. We are not creating entrepreneurs who are creating new products. We only create entrepreneurs who facilitate the trading of products produced in other countries. Therefore, we are now creating more problems in our own locality. We are creating platform apps that make people to have access to buy overseas, which even adding to problem of our foreign exchange. Then we are celebrating all these three startups as well. They may earn big money by name, but they are adding more to the problems here because the product apps they created really promote businesses and employment in overseas. They make it easy for people to buy in Amazon, buy in China and co, but they did not make people to buy from Nigeria. And therefore, we need to have a rethink that the entrepreneurs that we want to produce, that we must produce, must be those people who create products that we can sell to outside Nigeria. And that's where I said Professor Adebisi will help me respond to that. And also, recently, the Central Bank of Nigeria is coming up with a program which is called TIES, Tertiary Institution Entrepreneurship Scheme. There are 3 things they identify as their focus: agrobusiness, creative industry, and science and technology. If you look at the things, the focus there is all about software development, app development, which only meant to create demand access, to make Nigerians to be able to buy, to build websites, to build apps that can make it easy for people to buy overseas. They are not looking at people who can go into the engineering, develop a prototype of a phone that's accessible to every Nigerian, and produce locally, and people can buy Nigerian-made phone. We are not looking at entrepreneurs who can design vehicles that are not using electricity, using solar, that can use our oil that we have, and then be able to make it available. When Germany want to develop, they look at their critical problem. They need a vehicle that can go around to everybody, and they use those they have, and that's where they are. When China as well want to go up, they close their economy. They provide the basic things that they need in the country, food and other things. And when they now had enough, they now say, we have enough to now export, and they now open the economy. Until we begin to redirect our creativity, innovations, and entrepreneurship towards expanding domestic economy, we may continue to have increasing entrepreneur, at the same time increasing unemployment. We continue to have few people claiming to generate so much billions of dollars, and yet we still continue to have many people who are poor. Because we are creating jobs in other economy, and we are creating unemployment here. So we need to look at critically. And I also have this belief: we cannot teach entrepreneur. We can only develop the talent in people that they can become entrepreneur. And I said, it is not the training that produces Ronaldo. It is the talent of being footballer is in Ronaldo. You only give an opportunity to bring up that potential. So we need not to create a school of entrepreneurship, but we need to imbibe entrepreneurship in every aspect of our education, every part of our life, so that individuals can identify where he has his basic talent and endowment, and then develop in that along the line. And also, we need, therefore, to change this. This is my last parting word. We promote IT, information technology. And my own take is this: we need to change that information technology to industrial technology. And that's what we need. It is when we build our industry, like the MD said, for Nigeria to be competitive. We can't be competitive by buying. We can't be competitive by producing and then compete with products. So anything that they want to fund now should be products that we go into manufacturing. Agric cannot make us competitive globally. It is the manufacturing sector. It is producing a product that we call Nigerian product that can make us competitive globally. I had the opportunity of doing a research and coming to the back of industry. I observed most cases you don't support startups. And if you don't support startup, how do we create our own products? All they are currently financing they are giving now, they don't finance capital, they finance working capital. How then do somebody now come up with a new idea? If somebody now says, okay, I have a phone prototype I want to produce, you can't go to any of the development banks in Nigeria and get funding. You now even the agri they are doing, they finance or buying raw materials, not their fixed capital. I think that's where we have to change our focus of funding entrepreneurship, funding startup, and begin to give attention to those people who can create products we can produce in Nigeria, we can develop in Nigeria, and then can market to the world. If we don't change that focus, we may continue to producing entrepreneurs in large quantity and continue to have at least the highest poverty in the world and the highest unemployed people in the world. Thank you.
Very interesting, very apt. That's why it's always good to be in the. That's why it's always good to be in the academic sector. There are lots of research that has been done, and of course, this is an opportunity or a forum to share information. But personally, I feel that we are actually faced with some challenges as a country that is actually hindering startups or entrepreneurs in the country. For example, I have some friends that actually do have startups. They have the creativity, but to implement them in the country is difficult. So it means they have to go to China for them to develop their creative ideas. Then they import whatever products they come up with to Nigeria. Now, it still takes us back to the basis, to the issue of, for example, electricity, to the example of practical things that people that have developed countries would not have this challenge. So, of course, with this kind of fora, I think before we get to speak with Professor Sunday Adebisi, I think it's an important issue that anyone on this panel can actually highlight. If you're an entrepreneur, you have innovative idea, you're creative, you really want to empower people in your country with your ideas, you need people to support you. For example, if you go to China to produce whatever you want to sell to Nigerians, because you have the population here in Nigeria, of course you sell. And that's why you have many countries surrounding us taking business or our deals or opportunities, because there are some basic things that as a developing country, we should have gotten right at this point in time. Looking at this opportunity at this discussion at this time, Professor Sunday Adebisi, I know you have a lot to say, but can you please react to this? What would be your advice? What would be the agenda for government or relevant stakeholders when it comes to this?
Thank you very much, Sharon. And I want to say that I'm excited to be here. And as a matter of fact, let me state very clearly, first of all, to thank the MD of Bank of Industry for accepting to sit here with us today. Let me make it very clear that, yes, I just occupy the chair, the Dr. Mike Adenuga Chair of Entrepreneurship in University of Lagos, the first person to occupy that. And this is my first assignment to do. And I accept to do this first assignment because it has to do with entrepreneurship. And yes, we've started it. And it's a ministry, as far as I'm concerned. I'm like Baba Adeboye of Freedom. That's why I am when it has to do with entrepreneurship, because some of the things I've said over the years, I've seen them coming into play. So I'm going to quickly pick it from where Professor Shaibu stopped so that we can refocus our discussion very well. You see, there have been developmental processes that Africans have missed. We have the first industrial revolution, we never did anything. We have the second industrial revolution, we did not do anything. We had the third industrial revolution, we were still living in the first industrial revolution. The world will not wait for us. So we have missed it out in the third industrial revolution. This is the fourth industrial revolution. The world is not going to wait for us. So because the world is not going to wait for us, for everything we want to do now, we have to be integrated into the world so that at the end of the day, Africa will lose it all. So I understand what you're saying. It's not as if I do not agree with it. But the fact remains, if we begin to, we cannot lock down now. During the second industrial revolution, moving into the third industrial revolution, China understood that they were not able to compete, they locked down. They developed their cottage industry, that's fine. By the time the third industrial revolution picked up, they navigated into it and they pushed what they have developed using, the globalization and push it to the world. And today they've scored a goal. We didn't do that. So at the fourth industrial revolution, we cannot lock down. If we do, we're going to suffer more. In fact, we'll be so backward that there will be nowhere to go. So that is why today you see a whole lot of startups being encouraged to come into what drives the fourth industrial revolution. Whether you like it or not, you must be connected to the world. Fintech is the hint thing. The CBN came up now with the Naira. Whether we like it or not, CBN needed to respond, because if we lock down, there is nowhere to go. We will lose it all. So all we now need to do is to combine what you've said with the fourth industrial revolution, activities for us to get there. I come back to Sharon. Yes, there are a lot of challenges which I think we're going to discuss here today. If I have an idea and I create an idea, mass production is a very horrible challenge in this nation. Energy is not available. It's part of the things I put on there that it's supposed to be our solution. Energy is not available. If you want me to produce my cost of production per unit, nobody is going to buy it in Nigerian market. Therefore, if I still navigate, I'm answering your question, as a Nigerian company, who takes my idea to China so that I can create it into product? Definitely, I know I've exported jobs. That's correct. I know Professor Shaibu is, that's correct to economists. I've exported jobs. But by the time I bring the product back into the nation, I'm going to contribute to the GDP. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to navigate the product from here. And the product is going to carry the Nigerian-made product. We need to start from there, whether we like it or not. If you wait for government to give you the energy that will produce that, we may not do anything. So that is why it's never here nor there. And you cannot begin to, even if as a nation, we have the crude, we don't have the oil. Then you cannot say that the startup should wait until it can produce before you know you can sell a product. Then we're not going to get anywhere. So it's a challenge, it's a call to duty to government, a call to duty to every one of us to ensure the fact that we blend this and make it happen. So if I have answered your question, I don't know whether you want me to take, to go straight into what I actually want to discuss about it. Can I go ahead? Okay, thank you very much. When we look into what we're talking about here, building the Nigerian economy of the immediate future, the role of innovation, entrepreneurship, and startup creation. I want to tell all of us, I do hope the government is listening to us. In this university 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, when we won a center in this university that is called Arua Center of Excellence for Unemployment and Skill Development. You can imagine when African created a Center of Excellence for Unemployment, University of Lagos won it. And live direct here in 2018, almost everybody that matters in Africa came to this university to launch that center. There was something we hypothesized that, look, when you look at the youth in this nation, who at that point in time were just about 52% in 2018, before advancing to 60% now, that if you do not do something about it, then we may not be able to close our eyes. That was 2018. We predicted NSAS. We didn't know that it was NSAS we were predicting. We talked about the fact that we should take the youth off the street if we want to build varied economy. But we all saw what happened in 2020 that brought the nation down to its knees. When the 60%, 120 million people of this nation said, things must stop the way it used to be. The architecture of the security of the nation broke down completely because, the youth rose up. And that was calmed in 2020, but that has changed the narration. So the question is that we learned our lesson. If we want to build the economy, we must begin to convert the strength of those youth into profitable and bankable ventures. And that is why I want to toe the line of the Bank of Industry MD that reads out all manner of opportunities that are available for the youth. Yes, coordination is where we are now. And I think if you can continue so well, where we pay attention into innovation that goes into entrepreneurship, that will create startups, I am telling you, will build a great nation. We almost do it. If you want to sell. If you want to manufacture, Prof, we must give attention to everything. Because we are where now, we just need to continue to do everything and see how we pull them together and make sure that, you know, they contribute to the GDP. We have $514 billion GDP today. There is $120 billion dollar GDP that is not captured, informal sector. We need to move the informal sector to the semi-sector. It is very important. If you don't do that, as a nation, we're losing even the people that, you know, they've done so much in the informal sector. They're looking for somebody to respect the fact that they've done so much so that they can navigate into what semi-formal sector and they qualify to be in the formal sector. Government of this nation, everyone must take deliberate effort to look at that, because today you see that there's undervaluation of our GDP because there is a $120 billion in the informal sector that is not captured. That is there. And I want to say categorically, before I pass the microphone to you, that Nigeria is supposed to be a 3G country. What's a 3G country? That is global growth generating country. In 2011, as far back as 2011, we were classified among the 11 3G countries. That was where China was. We were categorized with China as a 3G country. But you know, it is not, if you are told that you are going to be rich, and you sit down like we're seated in this place because it's been said into your life that you're going to be rich, and you don't do anything, poverty will meet you and overtake you. And that is what has happened to Nigeria. That is why in 2011, when we're supposed to classify among the 11 3G countries with China, here we are today. By 2020, we became the poverty headquarter of the world because we didn't lift a finger. But for us today, I would say thanks to the organizer of this program, where we understand very critically how to begin to look at the strength that the youth have and how to begin to leverage what Bank of Industry has to bring on board and what Ben is saying now. We put them together and we say, okay, we beckon to you, oh you youth, can you come with your idea? Every idea now makes sense. Let me give you an example, which is now the Bank of Industry MD said he does not know. As I speak to you now, in the hub he gave to us, from Monday, 60 businesses have been pitching for angel investors and venture capital. We have 229 businesses that will be finishing today. By next week, the best 50 are pitching. It was because we were giving the hub. And now students saw the hub and they saw the opportunity of creating businesses. So every one of us in the nation must understand that on every street in this nation, there must be an incubation hub. There must be an innovation hub where the youth can come together and they can begin to do things and they can begin to believe in themselves. The testimony of yesterday was so awesome. 2 of the judges walked up to me and said, I now believe in Nigeria. I now believe that all the youth are not Yahoo Yahoo with all the things I can see from this youth. We were so elated. We were so happy because, you know, that was a very strong feedback that they gave to us. And it is because a hub has started in the University of Lagos and is making the youth to believe in themselves. So as I stop there before, you know, we go ahead, I will say that, Prof, I understand what you're saying. The world will not wait for us. It is 4th industrial revolution. We must use our sense of 1st industrial revolution, blend it with the 4th industrial revolution, mix everything together, put it inside the pot, and wait for how we can harness the benefit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Adebisi. The world won't wait for us. We actually have to move on. And so if you have an innovation or an innovative idea and you have the creative minds to put things together, it will remain there if you don't act on it. So very quickly, we would like to get the video presentation of Professor Bola Obo. She's one of the panelists and she's supposed to present virtually.
Good morning, distinguished audience, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so happy to be with you this morning to discuss and to be one of the panelists on this discourse on building the Nigerian economy of the immediate future, the role of innovation, entrepreneurship, and startup creations. As the Director of Research and Innovation, I will be tackling this topic from the point of view of the importance of research in research and development actually in the innovative space, and how this will eventually assist in growing the Nigerian economy. The first question I want to tackle this morning is innovation. What is innovation? Innovation is an unrelenting drive to break the status quo and develop anew where few have dared to go. Wow. It can also be described as the practical implementation of ideas that results in the introduction of new goods or services, or that results in improvement of previously produced goods and services. How do we go about innovation? Innovation is central to economic growth, and it occurs, we can say, as a result of trial and error, creative trial and error, and also through focused research and development. There are various attributes that come into the innovative space. Research, ideas, the needs of the society, the needs of the customer, being creative, developing a process, technology. There may be some catalyst, there may be some business approach, there may be some financial rewards, and a lot of inputs. But at the end of the day, it is central to economic growth, and it helps to grow our economy. What role will startups play in the innovative process? Startups and researchers. Well, researchers aim to have new discoveries. That is, we aim to innovate. And once we aim to innovate, that means we aim to disrupt inefficient processes. And through innovation, we make them efficient. What is a startup? Usually, startups are early stage companies, typically funded by family, friends, angel investors, venture capitalists, and as many as you can think of. Startups are not usually easy, as you have to think of already established businesses and also other competitors that may come into the space. And that is why usually a lot of startups would not succeed, as there are a few, there are some of them who lack the knowledge of the targeted niche. And the targeted niche is a critical factor in determining how the startup will eventually succeed. And that is where the importance of research comes in. Usually the startup will begin with the founder having an inspiration, having an idea, having a vision. This is further developed by a team the founder should assemble. So R&D, research and development, is very integral in the process of a startup, because it helps to gather all the needed information, whether the design, whether it is technology, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is a process, whether it is a product. All these are needed in order to be able to get a startup fully on ground. So research and development is the connector, and we can say research is the key activity in the innovative process. And it also helps entrepreneurship and aids the commercialization of the innovation. Because of this, government policies are very key in our Nigerian situation to support innovation and entrepreneurship, as this is the way to grow the economy. Startups, they need talents, they need infrastructure, they need business-friendly laws in order to be able to impact on national development and economic growth. For research in Nigeria to become more impactful, for research in Nigeria to be able to impact on our economy, we need to adopt the quadruple helix model, which involves the government, the academia, the industry, and the citizen, or the stakeholders, or the community. The citizen is quite a large group. And this is the model that is being recently canvassed by TEFund, the Tertiary Education Trust Fund. And we are hoping that before the end of the year, this model and the foundation TEFund wants to birth that would help us to have research focused on our national priorities will be back. This model will align to research funding, and so funds will be targeted to national priorities, national needs, so that the result of the research can really be adopted by the relevant industries, by the relevant organization to grow our policies and to develop our economy. Research funding can also provide a source of capital for startups, which will ultimately generate new jobs, which will, in that case, increase production and encourage economic growth of the community or the nation. Knowledge is assessed from research. Knowledge is assessed through the activities of research and development. So the need for Nigeria to adopt this model, and the need even for the academics to see the importance of collaborating with the industry and the community, is very important. Research should not be done for the sake of research. Rather, research should be applied research that will impact on the community. UNILAG journey in the innovation space, and what are we doing to contribute in University of Lagos to the economic growth of the nation. UNILAG is a university that is moving gradually towards a research-intensive university, and through the Office of Research and Innovation, we are really working on with a number of industries and organizations. And we can say that within the past 3 to 4 years, results from our research has been able to generate 19 patents, about 6 prototypes, and through this, we are contributing to job creation and boosting the national economy. We are at a place in the university where we are not just having patents for having patents there, but we are taking it to the point of commercialization. We are collaborating with industries, we are collaborating with state governments, we are collaborating with organizations to commercialize our products, having been taken round. Some of our prototypes have been taken round to various trade fairs, and from the comments of participants at the trade fairs, we have been able to improve on quite a number of them, and most of them in the state of being commercialized or being taken up by the industry. And so in UNILAG, we aim to have more collaboration with industry to be able to solve the problems. We have, based on our collaboration with industry, in our central research lab, we have a fully funded laboratory by Vitaphone. This has been very useful to our colleagues in the engineering space, and we have had collaboration with Vitaphone in their own space to improve some of their products based on research that was funded by them. We also have such labs in various parts of the university. Furthermore, from some of our patents, most of our patents are usually based on students and staff collaboration, and we have one that is fully in the commercial space as of today, and that is Avas Technologies. Avas Technologies developed a biometric solution, which uses voice, finger, and other biometric indicators. And we can say that this company, which is now a full-blown company registered in Nigeria, has been recognized by the federal government, and this company is working with the National Identity Management Commission to capture the national identity numbers through a seamless and efficient process. And this has helped a lot because they have been able to not only train, they have been able to employ staff in their various locations that help them to capture the national identity numbers of the various of Nigerian citizens. Part of our collaboration, we have the UNILAG last week collaboration, which resulted in the development of what we can call an AMBUVENT. AMBUVENT is a ventilator that was developed during the COVID period, which is affordable, it is solar powered, and it can be deployed in both rural and urban communities to help patients in respiratory distress. This invention was a product of ideas, teamwork, a lot of research analysis that was undertaken during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. It will interest you to know that all materials were sourced locally, and the ambulance, courtesy of the Lagos State Research and Innovation Council, is currently undergoing animal trials, after which clinical trials will follow. The development of ambulance shows that the products of our research are often Nigerian tailored solutions. Some other things that we have in the kitty are our smart bin. Our smart bin is a trash bin that has an app, such that the refuse collectors will be able to know when the bin is about 75 to 100% full, so you don't have spillage on the roads or by the house side, and that would make the logistic company, the refuse collectors, plan their logistics to carry, to go and pick up the trash at the right time. This is also at a stage where we're looking for investors to invest in it, so that we would have a cleaner environment. So we have some inventions that also we are told that Nigeria, actually sub-Saharan Africa, we have the highest rate of jaundice babies during at birth, and we have something that has been developed that is solar powered and can be used both at home and in the hospital for such babies, and it's quite affordable. So there are quite a number of innovations that we have, that we know as we are in the stage of commercialization will contribute to the national economy, would help create jobs once they are commercialized, and would lead eventually to economic growth. In conclusion, we understand that for our economy to grow, for the problems of the nation to be solved, there needs to be a robust relationship between academia, between governments, between the industry, and the society. This is recommended for Nigeria to further strengthen the economy and tackle further challenges. And also, funding for research should be targeted at problems within the Nigerian space, so that the country can move from one level of glory into the other. And once again, I want to thank the organizers for the opportunity to be able to deliver this short speech. Thank you very much.
Good.
Yes, innovative ideas, of course, is what will separate anyone from the rest. Very quickly, while we prepare for comments, questions, and answers, would actually want to invite Sandra Alunga from GIZ to please come up and share one or two opinions about the topic of discussion. It's good to have you.
Okay. Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everybody. I just came here from the airport, which is why I only got here. But I was following online, and I have to say, I heard quite a lot of very interesting and innovative remarks. So my name is Sandra Vermaten Alunge. I'm Belgian originally, and I work for GIZ, which is a German development agency. I'm the head of program of a program called Migration for Development that runs 3 Nigerian German Centers for Jobs, Migration, and Reintegration that we implement in cooperation with the Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment of Nigeria. So I have 3 of these centers in Lagos, Abuja, and Benin City. And so people that are unemployed or underemployed come to these centers to get help and to get access to training or support in terms of setting up their businesses. So we are really at the receiving end of everything that you've been talking about this morning. So I'm coming from the, let's say, from the bottom up instead of the top down approach. And so what we see is that obviously, I mean, we all know that there's a skills mismatch within the Nigerian labor market, which contributes to the unemployment. This has to do with lack of information on the labor market needs. But of course, also this goes together with the need for direction of where this labor market is supposed to go. And I guess that's what we're talking about when we talk about industrialization, industrial development, etc. So those people that are actually employed, because a majority of people are obviously employed, otherwise you cannot survive since there's no unemployment benefits. So people in some way or another are employed. They need upskilling. So, and we see that it's actually quite possible to provide people with additional skills so that they can increase their livelihoods. So there's a lot of growth potential, I think, in this area. One of the confusions that I also see in development work is the division between micro enterprises and SME. Entrepreneurship development and is something slightly different. One is creating jobs, being innovative, developing business networks. It's a different thing from helping people to actually improve their micro businesses. And so we feel that more attention should go towards that, because in the end, as you mentioned, Mr. Adesina, I think more than 80% of people in Nigeria are in the informal economy. So more efforts need to be put into also coming up with educational models and policy models, being innovative in that sense, to ensure that those people actually can contribute in a more significant way to the economic growth. The sectoral focus, yes, sectoral focus and location-based. I mean, we all see, for example, in Lagos, I mean, printing business, for example, is in Shomolu. We all know that. We all know where the clusters are. So it's not just about Lagos State or the federal government coming up with big plans on, sectoral development, but also really going into those locations and seeing what can be done to support those businesses, those core businesses in those sectors. I think that would fit into that bottom-up approach. Then just two more points that I would like to make is on working conditions. The working conditions within sectors vary enormously. So I think part of this discussion should also revolve around how do we now lift people at the bottom of those supply chains towards the middle, so that they in turn can become more successful entrepreneurs and micro enterprises. Finally, yes, with regard to the export, I think there's so much talent in Nigeria and potential for export. But when we look at the realities of the cost of exporting, I think I read an article recently that out of 36 taxes that companies end up paying at the airports in Lagos, only 5 are actually legal. So whether I think that requires more research, but in any case, it's a clarion call for more governance, also very pinpointed. I mean, there are solutions that are beyond the macro level, but that can actually focus on very concrete issues. And I think that doing that will definitely contribute to the potential of entrepreneurship and innovation in Nigeria. Thank you.
So very quickly, we'll go to the question and answer segment. We'll take 5 questions. So one, so we actually have to do a spread. So one question here. Okay, 2 first. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's it. So someone can.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate organizers of this program. I want to salute Dr. Ipaye, because she called my attention to this program. I don't know if it's a question or I want to speak out of frustration, because I have a business. I'm bold to say that because in the past, as a public servant or civil servant, you are not supposed to engage in any form of business. But with the 2004 Pension Act, we are encouraged to go into business. Professor Schwab observation that starters are not encouraged. I think I agree with him because I'm affected, or how would I put it? I'm a victim, or I don't know the word to use. I started off with a toilet roll. And let me just leave the toilet roll aspect because I know because of light and electricity and all that, I went into importing groceries. Because most of these things were contraband, I had to leave that. I said, okay, let me come back home and start a manufacturing business. I approached, with the little money I had, I approached Bank of Industry. Initially, because I didn't know the way to go, I went to a microfinance bank. I was told that the interest rate would be too high for me. So I was introduced to a Bank of Industry. Nothing came out from this. I was told I needed this, I needed that. I said, I have some of these things. Nothing came out. Out of frustration, I went into farming. I'm proud to say that I'm a farmer today. But with that, even at that, with the farming business, I still had challenges. Of course, in everything you lay your hands on, there's bound for you to have challenges. People came, Mistra, CBN Mistra, Anchor Boras, all sorts of programs. I'm proud to tell you that I participated in all this. Unfortunately, nothing came out from it. I had to use my own money, my little money, to finance my farming business. Now, I stand to be educated or to be informed on how to go about this or what is the way forward for people in business or starters. What do you have in store for us? Since I thank God that I have the chairman of BOI seated here today. So I need you to encourage me. I want to move forward. I don't want to be going from there to there to there. I'm a focused person. I've been to farming now because of frustration of coming up with manufacturing. I had to move to farming. So I need to be encouraged. Thank you.
Please, can we kindly make a comment snappy in a minute or two?
Thank you, Ma, and good day, everyone. I really want to appreciate the organizers of this program. Quite educative and informative. My question is actually directed to our Benjamin lady, and I'm so happy you're here because I'm privileged to be hearing for the first time that Belgium has such offerings that you've mentioned. Germany, oh, you are Benjamin, sorry. Germany has such, come again? You're almost dual now. You are from there and working with Germany. I congratulate you. So I just want to say that those opportunities you mentioned, which I believe will be very ideal for our youth, especially our students, I will appreciate if you do just let us know the best access for them to get to you to access such opportunities. Thank you.
Good afternoon. So, like, even though everybody has done that, but I'd like to thank the organizers again. I was very, very enlightened because I came with a lot of questions, and with each speaker, they're getting answered more questions, and a lot of my questions have been answered. So I'm a graduate of economics, just a fresh graduate, and I conducted a research on entrepreneurial intentions on pharmacy students. I'm an economist by course, but I come from a family of doctors, so I have interest in the health space. So the question I've been having for a while, which Dr. Walawa has answered, is that they're always talking about hubs and innovation centers, but they're always tech inclined. And the MD of BI mentioned that Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and co. They came from the university research and they partner with industry. So like in Nigeria now, we have innovation centers for tech, but Dr. Mola just made me understand that there are also innovation centers for research-based. And I feel like for pharmacy, for example, because we all need drugs, we import all our drugs. Even the drugs that are produced in Nigeria, they have their own challenges, which the manufacturers complain of. What is BI doing to foster research in pharmaceutical products, the production of pharmaceutical products in Nigeria? Not just supply. Supply chain is a problem, yes, but the production itself, because if we, yeah, that was the first question. Then the second one is that it's more of a suggestion, right? Because we have innovation hubs, and the research also saw that most of the students had high entrepreneurial intentions. So I would suggest that in order to encourage students to embark on these intentions that they have, there should be a form of mentorship with existing industry leaders or youths. Because, for example, in the health space, we have Helium Health, we have MedPlus, and they are youth. And youth, they can relate more with youth, because in our generation, some of us feel like the older people, they don't know what we are going through. So I feel like if they have a mentorship or a closer connection or interaction with industry leaders that are youths, I feel that will also encourage youths to, embark on entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Okay, my question just goes to the MDBOI. You said something earlier. Okay, there's a platform for graduate entrepreneurial fund. Okay, by God's grace, I happen to manage a fashion designing company where I have trained so many people. And I want to quickly just drop a little story. I happen to have a trainee that when the parent was bringing him to me, he said, okay, the only education I can give to him so far with the money I have is just school start level. That is WAEC alone. And the only next thing I can try to do is to put him in a particular trade where he can learn, and from there, he find his way out and what have you. Now, this guy is good. I trained him so well and he's fine. Now, it's not left for him to go to the outside world to start his own business. Now, the bigger challenge now is there's high rates, and the prices of equipment so far is now very high. Now, compared to I think 2019, I got one particular industrial machine for 95,000 naira. Currently, as I speak to you, that industrial machine is 205. Now, is there any platform for people that are not graduate to have access to getting their own equipment to start up? Because every platform we see, they say we have graduates, this one, those that went to school, ABND, what have you. What about people that they are good, they have ideas, or they know what they are doing when it comes to a particular trade? Is there any platform for them to get funds to start their own business? Thank you.
Prince Oriwaye Adefolalo is my name, former chairman of Sano University of Lagos, 2003-2009. Let me start by saying that I thank the former registrar, Dr. Epaye, for extending this invitation to me. And I thank God for the discussants, how far you have even discussed. You know, when Madam was even talking, my heart was bleeding. You know why? I too, I have a doctor who has just graduated. Most of the time when we are at home and he's talking about this country, very soon he's looking for a way to go out. I say, I would have trained this boy to become a musician. Because this is the one that is even getting more in this country. Baby Niger, what you call it? I want to appeal to you. The program you have started is good. God will continue to be with you so that even the younger doctors will be able to stay at home. Because if Obafemi Awolowo of the part of their 5 cardinal points when it was campaigning was issue of health. If you don't have health, you cannot be talking of job creations. And that is why your positions is equally very important. I think you deserve a round of applause for that. Yeah, the question that Professor Oluwafemi Saib raised, that he doesn't believe that we should have a school for entrepreneurship. And the second one he raised that he doesn't believe that agriculture too can take us far. I quite disagree with him. So I'm not a professor. You know, by what I quickly studying for what is entrepreneurship. And there's even defined as an entrepreneurial mindset is a set of skills that enable people to identify and make the most opportunities, overcome and learn from setbacks and succeed in a variety of settings. So to tell you that what University of Lagos has said is very much in line. I want to thank the University of Lagos for having that a beautiful idea. So that one, then the issue of agriculture. I want to say that honestly, if we venture into agriculture, we cannot even export it all. It's only the little one we know that we are talking about. It is very broad. So those people that are venturing into agricultural business will help us in this country. Not those people that are dancing on the streets, maybe Nigeria and all those things. That one cannot even equally help us. I want to thank the organizer of these programs again. I equally want to appeal to you that some of us are going. Anybody that's above 60 is going. But the younger ones who are trying every day to run away from this country, if they run away from this country, who are we? Who are we going to leave the country behind for? Who are the ones that are going to inherit the country? Please, let us do what that is possible to assist the younger ones. Thank you and God bless.
Well, thank you. Because of our time, I think I will go through very quickly because we still have to probably summarize. I think the first one to say that it is frustrating to be a starter, which is the same thing that she was trying to amplify. I agree that it is in Nigeria to be a starter, to try to borrow money, it's not easy. But part of the problems also lie with Nigerians who are trying to borrow. I remember one of the bishops in Nigeria, I won't mention his name, a well-known bishop, who was trying to see me on an appointment. So I said, sir, why are you trying to see me? He said, well, I have a young guy in my parish. He's a Catholic bishop. The guy wants to borrow money to do some business. I believe in him. It's not a lot of money, about 7 to 8 million. And he has come to your bank and they wanted 2 guarantors. And I, as a bishop, I will guarantee him. But my problem, MD, is that I have not been able to get anybody else in my church to guarantee him. So a big church with a bishop, only one person was willing to guarantee a young man. So he was trying to come and see me so that I could waive the other condition. Because in Bank of Industry, you can actually get loans for up to 10 million naira without bringing down your house, bring your house as security. All we require are 2 guarantors. And I can tell you, most Nigerians have problems getting 2 guarantors. You know why? Because they know them. They don't trust them. And they are, because I'm telling you, you can borrow up to 10 million from Bank of Industry with 2 guarantors. But we, of course, from those guarantors, we require their BVNs and a few things, and they will not give it because they know the people. So we are saying if people that know you don't want to guarantee you, why should we believe in you? Secondly, we have also tried it. In Bank of Industry, we have a product called matching funds. About 20 states in Nigeria are part of that program, whereby we come to your state, we tell the governor, any amount of money you give us, we'll match it. We'll lend the money in your state. And we have done that in about 20 states. Ask me what is the non-performing loan ratio of those loans, on the average between 80 to 100%. People believe that any money from a bank like Bank of Industry that is owned by government is part of national cake. So for Bank of Industry to have survived 60 years, because we're over 60 years in this country, we have to put those things in place. Otherwise, the bank will have been gone. So what we are asking for to be done for you, government has tried it. There was a bank called People's Bank. Some of you are a bit young, you don't know, but people who are older know People's Bank. The bank is dead. They did exactly what we're asking them to do now. There's a bank called NIGERIAN. It is dead. They did exactly what we're asking us to do now. So why must we not learn from experience? And then we're now asking government, we even have JIP, which government did. About 2.4 million Nigerians have been given money through JIP. Small loans, between 15,000 and 100,000 naira. And interest on it, virtually zero. All we're asking you to do, pay back that money so that you are part of the financial system and we can lend you more money. You know, the repayment rate of JIP virtually close to on repayment. The bad loan on it is very, very high. So not being able to get starter money is because of the level of dishonesty that we have in the country. So we have to blame ourselves also. Because if we were to go that route, the Bank of Industry will be gone. Then there was the other question that involves Bank of Industry, production of pharmaceuticals products. Most of the big companies that you have in Nigeria today, I don't want to mention names, they are able to access money from Bank of Industry. I was talking to our acting chairman, Dr. Karonwi, before this program started, that if we have hospitals like Duchess, by the way, Duchess just opened in Ikeja, it's like a 5-star hospital. And then we have Evercare in Lekki Phase 1, also a 5-star hospital. These hospitals are doing well, but they are multi-billion naira type of hospitals because of the cost of equipment. Bank of Industry financed these 2 hospitals, and we are doing more. And it will attract our people who are in diaspora to come back because some of them are well-trained. They just want to work in a good place. So if you have things that you want to do in that sector, pharmaceutical, hospitals, we are a major financier in that area. And our loans, 8 to 10 years, are single digits, 8%. You can't get that kind of money anywhere else. If inflation in Nigeria is about 17% and you are borrowing at 8%, it means what we are giving you is a subsidy. Then there's another question that is for BOI. You have a tailor trained who doesn't have a degree. Can the guy borrow from Bank of Industry? Yes, we have facilities where you can borrow just by the guarantors. 2 guarantors. You are talking of something worth about less than $500,000 naira. We would like to support it. But can the guy get to guarantors? You see, the other mistake people make in entrepreneurship is that they believe that they need to borrow. If you are going to borrow to be an entrepreneur, the first place to borrow is father and mother's bank. If your parents can give you interest-free loan, take it. If your uncle or your sister can give you interest-free loan, take it. It is when you have exhausted those cheap sources of finance that you consider borrowing money at 20% or 30%. But many people now go to money lenders and you borrow money at 5% flat per month, 7% flat per month. How can you pay back that kind of loan where you are paying on the average 60% per annum? You are working for the person you borrowed money from. We don't encourage that type of lending or borrowing. It is criminal. Unfortunately, when people are desperate, they will take anything that's available. So we don't encourage it. But I will stop here because, like I said, the other thing that we want to, there are many, and then there are loans for students. We have the graduate loan for students. We have loans for people who are doing NYC. What's security for it? Your certificate. Just your certificate from university is a security. You can borrow 2-3 million naira. Interestingly, we have seen students who have come to us who have said that they are sorry, their certificates are missing. They want to give us a sworn declaration. Even students who have just finished school, who need 2-3 million naira. Believe me, and I'm sure she is here, the German agency. Go and talk to them. Many of them are frustrated about the way we treat loans in Nigeria. They want to do more. Once we are able to show evidence that, you are honest, you want to pay back, you are ready to pay back, you can always get more loans. So we are trying to encourage that. When we have government programs, don't take it as if it's part of national cake. Part of what you need to learn if you want to be a good entrepreneur is honesty. If you are honest, people can give you millions of naira. They can give you goods to go and sell and come and pay back money later on. Character is very important. Character is one of the things we look for when we are giving you money. So we Nigerians, I didn't say Nigerians, we Nigerians, we must work on our character.
So I would like you to respond to his questions where he says, how can you have access to it?
As I mentioned, we work with the Federal Ministry of Labor. So our office in Lagos is within the compound of the Federal Ministry of Labor in Ikoyi, just next to the Immigration Service, the Passport Office, Ikoyi. You can also check us out on Facebook on MAC Nigeria, MAC Nigeria. MAC Nigeria, Migration Advice Center, but it's actually a job center. I also just wanted to say that we are really happy to support this program and that we look forward to support more of these discussions in the future. Thank you.
So Femish, who has the response?
Suggesting that we should lock Nigeria down. But what I'm advocating is this: unless we have Nigeria products, we have Nigeria model, we have something we can call Nigeria, and we place on the global market to sell, we will continue to remain where we are. So yes, the world has gone far, but we can never join the queue. We cannot jump the queue of development. We must start somewhere and then again fast track our own. We can leverage on what they have done so that we not go the same process. But to now say, okay, because the US is producing a vehicle that is using water, then Nigeria now going to focus on producing vehicles that are using water. I think we cannot compete with them. So we need to localize our entrepreneurship development by addressing local problems using global opportunity. That's all.
Also reacting to the belief of agriculture. Okay, I also have my own opinion because it's okay to farm, it's okay to plant, but you know we have lots of challenges in terms of preservation and the likes. And I think entrepreneurs should go beyond just going to the farm to farm. When you plant watermelon, can you come up with a juice company? When it prevents wastage, you have more people that you would empower. There is growth. You can even decide to export your drink if it's quite unique, or probably it has a better taste than what you would get off the shelf somewhere else. So generally, when talking about entrepreneurship, I've come to realize that people should learn to be creative and think beyond the box, because if not, you would eliminate waste. You can always dream higher, no matter how young you are. You can do a lot. You said you're a farmer. I don't know what you plant beyond the business pattern of, oh, you're going to the regular market to buy and sell. What more can be done to expand? I know money is always a challenge, is always a factor.
Good afternoon, ma. Welcome. Excuse her.
I know it's very strict person.
Huh?
As somebody going to
I know, Mr. Opalade will. Yes, no, may I help you? Mrs. Lawson. I already gave you your letter. I must have worked on it. I want to sit and wait. It's not for a meeting. For what? Ballot. Yeah. Yeah. It is well. And sit outside and wait for him. Maybe when he comes back, if he's willing to see anyone there, he will attend to you. Hmm? Yes, I've passed the stuff in. Yes, the letters.
Yeah. Attention. Kò send kankan o. Kò send anything. Mr. Ahmed, gbọ́. MOU wo ló send? Sí personal mi àbí CLBS. Ìjọ tó wá bí mo sọ fún pé kò tí send nìkan. Ó kọ́kọ́ send ìkan tó send tó kàn send ìta ní mo ti fún send the copy MOU sí kó lọ adopt.
And they have agreed is that we have gotten the start bite. I'm making that clear open. We've gotten the start bite. Start 2 through University of Lagos, then we can certify, then we can say, okay, this one has good character. We'll be able to assess that loan. All of those things we've developed in this university by co-creating with BOI. So I know the MD may not want to say that these are all the things they've done. So for me, how can we all today run on character to assess the present opportunity. It is very important. There are amazing, look, you need to visit my center. Since Monday, myself too, I have been jumping for joy. The Vice Chancellor have been jumping for joy because now we have youth we can trust. When they bring the idea, yesterday, the lady that came with just Chinchin, you know, Chinchin is everything that you all can say. When you see the precision of the coup, everything was almost like the same measurement. Neatly packed, and yesterday we've taken, an Nigerian investor is investing into her, and what we want to do is for her, don't produce for Nigerian market. There are a lot of Chinchin in Nigeria. Most Nigerians now are moving to Canada and UK. We will support you to take your Chinchin to Canada and UK. There are a lot of wives in Canada. They are not doing anything. They follow their husband there. So we are connecting them. Let them take like 500 of this pack, and they are selling to Nigerians in Canada. Before we know, say Jack Robinson, in 2 years too, we have internationalized a localized product, such as we internationalized his product when it started some years ago. So all these are the opportunities that are available. And I want to tell you, if you're a youth and you are still doing Yahoo Yahoo, you don't know what you are doing. Rather than doing Yahoo Yahoo, come to our hub, bring your idea. University of Lagos will support you. BOI will support you. I want to thank everyone. And I thank my friend here too, who we are strongly supporting. Don't worry, we'll deploy everything to support you guys in College of Medicine. So thank you very much. I think that's my parting gift.
Thank you very much to all the discussants. I'm in the health sector. My wife and I have a private practice in dentistry that we've run for 33 years now. And I'd like to start by thanking Dr. Salako for what she's doing. But I'm going to use the health sector as an example of what is going on in the country and what we can do. Now, people have been talking about brain drain. We've been affected. Some of our doctors have left to the UK, to Canada. I see it as a brain game because they're going there to improve on their skills. And when the country is right, put right, they will come back. I'm sure many of you don't believe it. Some of them are already coming back. You know, thanks to the Bank of Industry for what they're doing, you know, and I know more of them will come back. Now, why are professionals leaving Nigeria? Clearly, as somebody in the medical field, the most frustrating thing is to see your patient suffer for lack of equipment. Because you don't have the equipment to treat your patient, it is very frustrating. Difficulty for startups in the medical field. Obviously, I can tell you that I don't see how a fresh graduate, at least I can say for in dentistry, can start up because it's expensive to set up, you know, a dental clinic. So banks are not forthcoming. Thanks to Bank of Industry, they're forthcoming now, but they cater for now for the high-end market now. It's been like this for a long time. I have suffered that too. We once paid 45% interest rate, and we had to pay back in 1 year. So I know what people are going through. I've experienced it. Now people are leaving because of poor salaries, remunerations. I find it difficult, you know, to understand why a doctor's child cannot go to a better school than the doctor went to. And education for the children is one of the primary reasons why doctors are leaving the country. The poor government response. You need a government that will respond and will encourage professionals. When a minister says that, well, if the doctor cannot get a housemanship position, he should go and do tailoring. You know, it's very, you know, disheartening. It's discouraging. When a minister says, well, we have more than enough doctors, it's also very discouraging. So, you know, the government has a role to play. The government must be seen to encourage professionals to stay behind. Now, what's the solution to this? Because I don't want us to go away with questions. The health sector must be adequately funded. But the truth of the matter is that no government in the world can fund the health sector adequately. Bank of Industry, I must say they're doing a very good job. The health insurance scheme is the solution to our problem. Until we make health insurance compulsory in this country, we're not going to go far. If, for instance, you increase the tariff, the telephone tariff, and this is where the telcos come in, by just 3 couple of seconds, you will more than be able to fund.
Minus media. I for do our media. They just carry back, they go.
We need to make sure that the telcos are involved. We need to pass laws that will make health insurance compulsory. I'm told that Lagos State is trying to do that now. But until we do that, we cannot have the funding. You can see what the pension funds have done. I mean, they had so much money that some people stole some money and they didn't even notice for years, for some months. But that is what can happen in the health sector. The telcos are, you know, a shining example. Remember, we once had, when we had NITEL, we had about 400,000, less than 400,000 functional lines. And even the telecoms minister then passed the comment that telephones are not for the poor, they're for the privileged. You know, when you have a mindset like that from the government, then you know you're in trouble. And, you know, I remember once I was driving around Lagos with my wife and I looked at the NITEL cables and I simply just told my wife, this thing can never work. All I had to do was just look at the cables and I said, this thing can never work. And what did the government do? Just licensed 3 companies. And look at the result now. And this is why I'm saying that it's the government policies that will make the difference. Make health insurance compulsory, involve the telcos, and I can guarantee you in 5 years, Nigeria will be a hub for medical tourism in Africa.
Thank you very much, sir. I'll hand over to the Center Director, Dr. Taiwo.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me, we have had a very stimulating discussion session. This first in the series of our discourse on the Nigerian economy has been indeed very meaningful. I thank our chairman, Sakaya Deputon, and we want to quickly appreciate our facilitators. I'll be asking our acting board chairman today, Dr. Bode Karunwi, to please help make a presentation to Mr. Luka Deputon. We really appreciate you, sir, for the frank and Thank you very much, sir. Quickly, we want to appreciate Sandra Vermogen. Did I try? I personally am very grateful to you. The partnership is less than a month old, and here you are physically. And I know one of the things you're going to do for us at this center is all the training programs of GIS. You're bringing them here, GIZ. Yeah, because we have the facilities. I'm going to take you around. We have the perfect ambience and the resources to have the kind of training sessions you're holding. On behalf of the board and management of Mbanefo Digital Research Center, University of Lagos, this is to appreciate you for your support for this program. Quickly, I want to appreciate Dr. Molola Salako. You've been wonderful. And it's good to know that a doctor can be an entrepreneur. The lady pharmacist is a testimony to what your presence here means to somebody ultimately. So on behalf of the board and the management of the University of Lagos, we appreciate you for being here. Permit me to appreciate Professor Saibu, all the way from Abuja. He didn't sleep. You know, the flight from Abuja to Lagos is about 10 hours because you have to be at the airport and not knowing when your flight will take off. Even though it's a 1-hour flight, you might end up spending 6 hours just to commute between Lagos and Abuja. So thank you. Yes, you threw up the discourse and you stimulated the discussion. We don't just want us to be entrepreneurs, certificated entrepreneurs. We want us to be practical entrepreneurs. And I appreciate this taking of our support. Last but not the least, is freshly minted. This is his first public outing as a professor, double-digit professor, double professor, professor of strategic management and entrepreneurship. It's a great privilege and honor. Now, the first acknowledgement we will have is from this center. We look forward to more collaboration. Thank you. The ambience of this event, the packaging is due to his support, due to his mentorship. And I sincerely appreciate you. Thank you very much. I'll call on Mr. Muiwa Awoyeton, who will give us the vote of thanks. I'm sorry, Sharon, I'm going to give you a verbal appreciation because you're a friend of the family. Please accept our love and our appreciation. The lady pharmacist, I hope she's still around. She will give the closing prayer. Aisha, immediately, Mr. Awoyeton, thank everybody. This program would not have held if we were not here. For sparing time, I hope you are going away with something, not that bag, but something in your heart, something in your brain, and something that your hand will do. Thank you very much for your presence.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all. It gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for this event to all disciplines assembled here. I would like to thank the chairman of the occasion who honored this function, which is educative and inspirational thoughts. I would also like to thank our beloved board of AMDRC, the facilitators, all the staff members, students, and participants, both physical and those online, virtual, that made this program a huge success. Once again, I thank all that is present here. Thank you very much for coming.
It's immediately after the closing prayer, we'll be having a group picture with all the participants. We'll probably do male and female so as to break it up with members of the platform. We want this day to be a day to be remembered because we are going to have subsequent editions of this program. Aisha, this closing prayer, quick one.
Name of Allah, merciful. We thank Allah for a successful event, and we ask Him to bless all that we have learned today and make the execution of whatever we have learned here easy. We ask Him to secure Nigeria because we are all here because we love Nigeria. We ask Him for His protection. We ask Him for stability. And we ask Him to protect all of us as we live here. We ask Him to bless our panelists and guide them, enrich them. In the name of Allah, beneficent and merciful, we thank Allah. We ask Allah for His protection, guidance, and sustenance. And now, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim, innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim, innaka Hamidum Majid. We ask Allah to make more of this event successful. And we ask Allah to protect everybody here. Yes, I keep asking for protection, but we need to be protected. Yes. Alhamdulillah, thank you.
We must not fail to appreciate the presence of those who joined online. We thank you very much. We are most appreciative of your virtual presence. We are also grateful to the team from UNILAG Media because this program is being streamed live. It's also available on YouTube. From the information unit, you have been fantastic, even though you crossed our normal sound, high quality sound production, but we forgive you for today. Thank you, everyone who has come here. We'll move to the courtyard for the photographs. the courtyard for the group for the house. The chairman has to leave now. Dr. Adebisi, that is not fair. So,